No. Uh, okay. From seeing all those movie musicals, I used to dance around in the street, and I'd get caught all the time. God, it was embarrassing. I was always being Sid Charisse. Always. Which I don't really understand because I always wanted to be an actor. I mean, I really wanted to perform. Once my cousin said to me, "You'll never be an actor." And I knew she was telling me this because I was such a sissy. I mean, I was terribly effeminate. I always knew I was gay, but that didn't bother me. What bothered me was that I didn't know how to be a boy. One day, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "You're 14 years old and you're a faggot. What are you gonna do with your life?" By that time, I was in Cardinal Hayes High School. There were 3,000 boys there. I had no protection anymore. No homeroom where I could be charming and funny with the tough guys so they fight my battles for me, like when I went to small schools. I liked school, but my grades got so bad. Even if I knew the answers to questions, I wouldn't raise my hand because I think that they would laugh at me. They'd even whistle at me in the halls. It was awful. Just awful. Finally, I went down to the principal's office and said, "I'm a homosexual." Well, it was a Catholic high school, and at the age of 15, you just didn't say that. He said, "Would you like to see a psychologist?" And I did. And he said, "I think you are very well adjusted for your age, and I think you should quit school." So I did. But I really didn't want to. I couldn't take it anymore. See, when I quit school, what I was doing was trying to find out who I was and how to be a man. You know, there are plenty of people in this world who don't know how to be men. And since then, I found out that I'm one. I was looking for the wrong thing. I was trying to learn how to be butch. Anyway, I started hanging around 72nd Street and meeting all these really strange people. Just trying to make friends that were like me so that I'd understand what it was that I was. Somebody told me that they were looking for male dancers for the Jewel Box Review, you know, the drag show. So I go down to audition. Now, from all those years of pretending I was Sid Charisse, I had this fabulous extension. I mean, I could turn anything my first audition. And they said to me, "You're too short to be a boy. Would you like to be a pony?" And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "A girl." What do I have to do? Show us your legs. But I have hair on my legs. That's okay. Come on upstairs. So I went. And they hiked up my dungarees and they put on a pair of nylon stockings and high heels. It was freaky. It was incredible. And then they brought me back downstairs and they said, "Oh, you have wonderful legs." I said, "Really? Terrific!" It's so strange thinking about all this. It was a whole lifetime ago. It was just past 16. Anyway, then there was this thing of me trying to hide it from my parents. That was something. Because I had to buy all this stuff, like shoes to rehearse in, earrings, makeup. And I'd hide it all, and my mother would find it. I told her there was this girl in the show, and she didn't want her to know what, or her mother to know what she was doing, and I was holding this stuff for her. And she believed me. Well, I was finally in show business. The asshole of show business. But it was a job. Nothing to brag about. I had friends. But after a while, it was so demeaning. Nobody at the Jewel Box had any dignity. And most of them were ashamed of themselves and considered themselves freaks. I think it was the lack of dignity that got to me, so I left. Oh, I muddled around for a while. I worked as an office boy, waiter. But without an education, you can't get a good job. So when the jewel box called and asked if I'd go back, I went. We were at the Apollo Theater on 125th Street doing 4 shows a day with a movie. It was really tacky. The show was going to go to Chicago, and my parents wanted to say goodbye. They were going to bring my luggage to the theater after the show. Well, we were doing this Oriental number, and I looked like Anime Wong. I had these 2 great big chrysanthemums on either side of my head, and this huge headdress with gold balls hanging all over it. And I'm going on for the finale and going down the stairs, and who should I see standing by the stage door? My parents. They got there too early. I freaked. I didn't know what to do. I thought to myself, I know, I'll walk quickly past them like all the others and they'll never recognize me. So I took a deep breath and started down the stairs, and as soon as I passed my mother, I heard her say, "Oh my God." Well, I died. But what could I do? I had to go on for the finale, so I kept going. And after the show, I went back up to the dressing room, and when I finished dressing and taking my makeup off, I went back downstairs, and there they were, standing in the middle of these and all they said to me was, "Please write, make sure you eat, and take care of yourself." And right before my parents left, my father turned to the producer and said, "Take care of my son." And that was the first time that he ever called me that. And